Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest writers of our generation. Yeah, I said it. I see people talking. I see the chatter going, oh, Kendrick is so overhyped because of all the attention that he gets. He's overrated. Well, let's dive into one of those tracks that is not overrated from Kendrick. Let's dive into one of those tracks that really shows off the masterclass of lyricism, of MCing, of pushing forward the art form of hip hop and the themes that come with it. Right here, right now, we got Kendrick Lamar and Fear. But before I go any further, listen, if you want to come see me live, I just finished my European tour. We played all over the UK. We played Germany as well. Amazing shows, amazing nights. If you want to support independent music, if you want to support some dope hip hop, I am coming to Denver. I've also got my first hometown show in years in Washington, D.C. Got a very, very special night planned for that. So if you want to be a part of it, if you want to come meet me live, come talk to me, come see me. I'll put the links below so you can get your tickets. But anyways, what we're here for. Kendrick, step back up to the plate. Let's see what you got. You know I'm a fan of hip-hop that connects. And that's how Kendrick kind of approaches his music, with just that timeless transcendence and connecting generations, right? 24 Karat Black, Poverty's Paradise. That's the sample that's cut into this. That same sample was used by, shout out to Naughty by Nature.
What's up, family? Yeah, this your cousin Carl, man. Just giving you a call, man. I know you've been having a lot on your mind lately, and I know you feel like, people ain't been praying for you. But you have to understand this, man, that we are cursed people. Deuteronomy 28.
I know you're feeling like people ain't praying for you. Kendrick Lamar, especially on this track, has so many connections just tying in with this album. And this is why this album has gotten so many awards. Like the fact that you could play it through one way and then play it back through the other way. Like just the genius of the concept. But for me, it's all the layers and the little nuances that tie it in to other tracks, right? On the track Feel, he laments, ain't nobody praying for me. So what does Carl say here in this little voice note and message? I know you feeling, shout out to Phil, and ain't nobody praying for you.
But you have to understand this, man, that we are cursed people. Deuteronomy 28 and 28 says, the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart. See, family, that's why you feel like you got a chip on your shoulder.
Why God, do I gotta suffer pain and...
Deuteronomy 28. And here's another theme tying back, and he talks about it in Yah. I'm an Israelite. Don't call me black no more. It's not about color. Speaking facts no more, right? He ties into that. And this passage of Deuteronomy is often used by Hebrew Israelites. And especially there's a group of the African-American community, because if you look at obviously the roots of the Middle East, right? The roots of Pangea, going even further back to the origins of humankind and where we all originated, and then even tying back to the Garden of Eden, right? You have African Americans who view Israel as the promised land, who view themselves as going through the same persecutions as the 12 tribes of Israel, because they're an extension of those tribes. And that for me is one of the religious connections that Kendrick makes. But also if you like pan out from that specific group and you just look at the African American plight going through the horrificness of the slave trade, right? And the breaking apart of such rich cultures and just rich identity. Kendrick Lamar has that connection that he feels the same as the Israelites being persecuted in Egypt because the 12 tribes were tested. They were put through trials by God, tested in their faith, tested in their beliefs. So there's this view that, all these persecutions that African Americans have gone through over the years, right, is tying back to being cursed, to being, just one of God's people, being God's chosen people. And this is still a test of faith from the Lord.
Why God, do I gotta suffer pain in my heart, carry burdens full of struggle? Why God, do I gotta bleed? Every stone thrown at you, resting at my feet. Why God, do I gotta suffer? Earth is no more, won't you burn this motherfucker?
I beat your ass, keep talking back.
I'll tell you what, man. Obviously, these lines are what gets played in reverse. But this is the same theme that he uses on Duckworth. But I love the way that this is used here. One, just shouts to playing this in reverse, but just having it hit with the rhythm and just hitting in this pocket. And you hear the layerings of this. You can hear Kendrick's voice, like kind of in the middle. Then off to the side, you have like a higher, and then off to the other side, you have a higher harmony as well. So you have like a couple vocal layers with this. And it just feels like playing lyrics in reverse. What he's about to rap, we're speaking in tongues, right? It's almost like demonic language. You know, when you're possessed and you're speaking in tongues, or even when you're filled with the Holy Spirit and you're speaking in tongues in that way, right? So this is like some real Tower of Babel-ish for me, tying in with the religious references. And then you have the lamenting and the questioning. Why, God, do we got to suffer? And we talked about the 12 tribes. We talked about the book of Deuteronomy. We talked about the tests that God was placing. It's interesting because this album is an exploration of introspection and identity, the identity of the individual, right? But also it's about the identity of a culture, the identity of a society, the identity of Compton, the identity of the black community, and exploring that as well. So a lot of these questions and a lot of these tribulations that Kendrick goes through, he sees himself as going through them, but he also sees the greater community as experiencing them and dealing with them too.
I beat your ass, keep talking back. I beat your ass, who bought you that? You stole it. I beat your ass if you say that game is broken. I beat your ass if you jump on my couch. I beat your ass if you walk in this house with tears in your eyes, running from poo-poo and Prentice. Go back outside, I beat your ass, little nigga. That homework better be finished. I beat your ass, your teachers better not be bitching about you in class. That piece of better not be wasted, you eat it all. That TV better not be loud if you got it on. Them Jordans better not get dirty when I just bought them. Better not hear about you humping on Keisha's daughter. Better not hear you got caught up. I beat your ass, you better not run to your father. I beat your ass, you know my patience running thin.
I beat your ass, you better not run to your father. I love that just reveal, that just literary way of letting us know who the speaker is here. Because it's obviously Kendrick's mom, right? And just this repeat, this constant repeating, I beat your ass. But he flips it. If you don't do your homework, if you don't stay out of trouble, if you don't take care of your clothes, right? You can hear a mother speaking to her son. And what's the title of this track? Fear. So what's the device that she's using? She's threatening a fear of punishment to get Kendrick to move correctly, to be on the side of Mr. Morale.
Did you eat it all? The TV better not be loud if you got it on. Them Jordans better not get dirty when I...
You hear underneath as well, right there, that sample? That sample from Poverty's Paradise, just underneath in the mix is still there. Just letting us know, like subconsciously, that connection is still consisting throughout
just
this.
Bought them. Better not hear about you humping on Keisha's daughter. Better not hear you got caught up. I beat your ass, you better not run to your father. I beat your ass, you know my patience running thin. I got boo-boo payments to make. County buildings on my ass, trying to take my food stamps away. I beat your ass if you tell them social workers he live here. I beat your ass if I beat your ass twice and you still here.
I beat your ass if you tell those social workers that he live here. Why? Because all of a sudden, if there's a man in the house, there's someone else who's providing, you're not going to get the same checks, right? If social workers can become aware of that. And also notice the picture that he's painting. It's of his childhood in Compton, being on food stamps, right? Having a mom living from check to check. Having a mom who instilled discipline, who was tough, but at the same time was just trying to take care of her kids.
Workers, he live here. I beat your ass if I beat your ass twice and you still here. 7 years old, think you run this house by yourself? Yeah, I roll that motherfucker up. Else. If I can smoke fear away, I roll that motherfucker up.
If I could smoke fear away. And he's got, if I could smoke fear away. Like, he's got like a demonic, very bassy voice, like chopped and screwed down in the mix. And I love this. I talk about this all the time, like male, female vocals, but you can do it with just a male voice, right? Have higher harmonies, which Kendrick is doing here. Just this little like sing-song rap part. But then underneath, you got a really like low-end bass to the voice and the vocal delivery running. And it just like sounds really dope when you layer those on top of each other.
Away, I roll that motherfucker up. And then I take 2 puffs.
Huh.
I'm high now. I'm high now. I'm high now. I'm high now. Life's a bitch, Pull them panties to the side now. I probably die anonymous.
Life's a bitch, so pull them panties to the side and fuck her.
I probably die with promises. I probably die walking back home from the candy house.
Yeah, I want to bring it back because one of the things I love too, like if you think about how fear changes in this, right? There's, to me, the theme of the fear of God through his commandments and through the biblical reading. Then there's the fear from his mother, fear of punishment, right? Being used to discipline him. And then he takes fear and he personifies his fear into the blunt that he rolls up and that he smokes to get high, but also like trying to achieve like a higher elevation of the mind.
I probably die anonymous. I probably die with promises. I probably die.
And then this is going to get interesting, but this right here is now a fear of death. So the fear takes different shapes. I love how the overall theme and the title of the track is fear, but then we explore the different fears that Kendrick is going through psychologically from his childhood and then to the present tense.
I probably die anonymous. I probably die with promises. I probably die walking back home from the candy house.
Now, here's what I'm going to do for this. I'm going to count.
I probably die anonymous. I probably die with promises. I probably die walking back home from the candy house. I probably die because these colors are standing out. I probably die because I ain't know DeMarcus was snitching. I probably die at these house parties fucking with bitches. I probably die from witnesses leaving me false accused. I probably die from thinking that me and your hood was cool. Or maybe die from pressing the line, acting too extra. Or maybe die because these smokers are more than desperate. I probably die from one of these bats and blue badges. Body slammed in black and white paint, my bones snapping. Or maybe die from panic, or die from being too lax. Or die for waiting on it, die cause I'm moving too fast. I probably died trying to buy weed at the apartments. I probably died trying to defuse two homies arguing. I probably died cause that's what you do when you're 17. My worries in a hurry, I wish I controlled things. If I could smoke fear away, I'd roll it.
I mean, I just love that. The writing to this and the wordsmithing and the way that this is constructed, like there's so many themes going on. But then to have like these mini themes within a verse, right? Tying in with this one. I'll probably die at 17. That's the point that he's getting to. We talk about how Kendrick's a really dope writer. He's an author. Like he knows where we're getting to and he knows how to guide you on this plot and then have this plot twist at the end. He just gave us 17 different ways that he could die and talking about the overall meta concept, his fear of dying, but then having this little 17 scheme tying in with dying at 17. Man, that's dope.
These smokers are more than desperate. I probably die from thinking that me and your hood was cool. Or maybe even these colors, I probably die.
I want to tie in now on the different ways of dying, right? And just the picture that he's painting here. Because essentially what he's saying is that, you know, in order to survive, it's about a balance. It's about always being alert. Hang on. And this is just the reality of what a kid has to face. And then a young teenager has to face. And things that a lot of people listen to and go, well, a teenager shouldn't be thinking about this. This shouldn't be on their mind. But this is just the brutal reality that Kendrick has given you of where he grew up.
Out. I probably died because I ain't know DeMarcus was snapping because these colors are standing out.
I'll probably die because these colors are standing out. I take that as gang colors, right? You end up on the wrong side of the street in Compton, Bloods and Crips territory, right? You got the wrong colors on, it's not going to end well. Versus, obviously, he talks about police brutality later and his colors standing out, too.
I probably died because I ain't know DeMarcus was snitching. I probably died at these house parties fucking with bitches. I probably died from witnesses leaving me false accused. I probably died from thinking that me and your hood was cool. Or maybe died from pressing the line, acting too extra. Or maybe die because these smokers are more than desperate. I probably died from one of these bats and blue badges. Body slammed in black and white paint, my bones snapping. Or maybe die from
body slammed in black and white paint, my bones snapping. To me, it's interesting how he paints his black and white paint. But for me, there's also the tension, the racial tension too.
Or die from being
because he talked about the badges and the police.
Or die for waiting on it. Die because I'm moving too fast. I probably
die from being too lax and not being on your guard. But you could also die on the other end from moving too fast and living in this fast life with the drugs. Or you could not even be involved in the drugs and still have one of these smokers and one of these junkies do you. right? There's so many different ways. It's like Final Destination that you can die and you always have to be alert and be thinking about this.
Died trying to buy weed at the apartments. I probably died trying to defuse two homies arguing. I probably died.
Even something simple as that, trying to be a peacemaker, could still lead the wrong way.
Apartments. I probably died trying to defuse two homies arguing. I probably.
You hear again these samples? Notice how these samples stay consistent throughout? Poverty's paradise. Well, he's painting poverty right now as he's trying to find his way to paradise.
Cause that's what you do when you're 17. My worries in a hurry. I wish I controlled things. If I could smoke fear.
And you think about police brutality in 17. Think about the teens that have died at 17, like the Trayvon Martins of the world, that never got to see, you know, another day and make it past that. And that's the reality of the situation where Kendrick is.
My worries in a hurry. I wish I controlled things. If I could smoke fear away, I roll that motherfucker up. And then I take 2 puffs.
I've been hungry all my life.
I'm high now. I'm high now. I'm high now. I'm high now. Life's a bitch, pull a bandage to the side now. Now. When I was 27, I grew accustomed to more fear. Accumulated 10 times over throughout the years. My newfound life made all of me magnified. How many accolades do I need to block denial? The shock value of my success put bolts in me.
Notice his delivery here.
Being too lax or die for waiting on.
I'll probably die from being too lax. That's the second verse. Like for me, we've had a time shift. Because now you kind of get more of really like a Kendrick stepping back and breaking the fourth wall, really talking to us. Like for me, we were inside his head on that second verse when he's really introspective and just going through those different fears. And obviously the first verse is more from his mama's perspective. So this verse, to me, you've got a big tonal change and a delivery change because the voice that Kendrick is using has changed. So he signifies that through his cadence change, through his delivery.
Job playing the joke on me. My success put bolts in me. All this money is God playing the joke on me. Is it for the moment and will he see me as Job? Take it from me and leave me worse than I was before.
And that's it. You know, you go back to the Deuteronomy Bible reading that he did at the intro. And you know how I said things connect throughout. Well, now he thinks about Job. And Job was tested. Job was tested by the devil. And the devil said, the only reason that Job has faith in the Lord is because of all the success. So let me take away success. And it was almost like a bet to God. Let me show you that I can turn Job. And Job was tested. Job had his wealth taken away from him. And yet, Job still had faith. And eventually, God returned it to him. So Kendrick Lamar, now that he has success, wonders if that he's going to be tested. Now that he's hit 27, which is a very interesting age for artists. You think about the Kurt Cobains. You think about the Amy Winehouses, right? You think about just the countless classic artists and greats that have gone at 27. That haven't seen 28.
Do I need to block denial?
It's like, great, I made it to 17. All right, now I make it to 27, and I'm still stressing about
Shock
this.
value of my success put bolts in me.
And notice how fear is still happening. We've gone from a fear of death. Now we have a fear of losing everything because he came from poverty, and now he has all this wealth, and he's so afraid to go back to it.
Do I need to block denial? The shock value of my success put bolts in me. All this money is God playing.
The shock value of my success put bolts in me. Shock, bolt, like a lightning bolt versus literally like it's so shocking. Now I have bolts. Now I can't move. I've been bolted down by all this. It's almost like shackles of success.
A joke on me. Is it for the moment and will he see me as Job? Take it from me and leave me worse than I was before. At 27, my biggest fear was losing it all. Scared to spend money, had me sleeping from hard to hard. Scared to go back to Section 8 with my mama stressing. 30 shows a month and I still won't buy me no Lexus. What is an advisor? Somebody that's holding my checks just to fuck me over and put my finances in debt. I read a case about Rihanna's accountant and wonder how did the bad girl feel when she looked at them numbers? That type of shit'll make me flip out and just kill some, drill some, get ill and feel ratchets with a little some. My practice running from fear. Guess I had some good luck. At 27 years old, my biggest fear was being judged. How they look at me, reflect on myself, my family.
And then he flips fear again into his biggest fears of being judged. Well, his biggest fear before was losing it all. Now he's fearing about being judged, right? It just compounds. The fear leads to more fear, and more anxiety. Then he references Rihanna, and she had her accountant who told her when she was on tour, didn't make her aware that she was not going to make any profit on that tour, and then also convinced her to buy a house in LA that had mold and water damage and lost like $2 million in the end. So just advise her on some bad investments. But also Rihanna back in the day had some really bad spending habits herself. So it was like a combination of like a perfect storm of her not managing her wealth well, but also having an accountant that didn't manage her wealth well at all. But Kendrick still just being deathly afraid of the institution, right? He's afraid of the police. He's afraid of the government, Uncle Sam, and taxation. He's afraid of accountants. He's afraid of people handling his money because he came from nothing. And he feels like he's more connected to the nothing than he is to the something, the success that he has now. And he feels like he can head right back to it at any moment. And I get that, man. Like, I get that fear and that paranoia. Are you always going to maintain this? Are you always going to have the success? Being afraid to spend money because you're not used to having money.
Let's account it and wonder. How did the bad girl feel when she looked at them numbers? That type of shit'll make me flip out and just kill some, drill some, get ill and feel ratchets with a little some. My practice running from fear. Guess I had some good luck at 27 years old. My big
ratchet, practice, had. There he's punching in some just internal rhyme schemes on top of his externals that he had before.
Practice running from fear. Guess I had some good luck at 27 years old. My biggest fear was being judged. How they look at me reflect on myself, my family, my city. What they say about me reveal if my reputation will miss me. What they see from me will trickle down generations in time. What they hear from me will make them highlight my simplest lines. I'm talking fear. Fear losing creativity, I make them miss me.
Man.
What they see from me will trickle down generations in time. What they
see from me will trickle down generations in time. You know how I talked to you about how Kendrick, when he puts together a track, it feels like he's not concerned with making a hit. He's concerned about the timelessness of the record and passing down generations. And he feels like a reincarnation of previous generations, like the reincarnation of Pac approaching him in a dream.
From me will make them highlight my simplest lines. I'm talking fear. Fear losing creativity.
Hey, I'm happy to highlight the simple lines from Kendrick because there's a devil in the details and the intricacy even in that.
From me will make them highlight my simplest lines. I'm talking fear. Fear losing creativity. I'm talking fear. Fear missing out on you and me. I'm talking fear. Fear losing loyalty for pride. Cause my DNA won't let me involve in the light of God. I'm talking fear.
What a great line. Fear of losing loyalty because of pride, because I'm so full of pride that I might lose friendships from it. But also, this is where he starts to, again, connect to the rest of his album by having these doubles, talking about loyalty, talking about pride. Other track names from Damn.
For pride, cause my DNA
Damn, that was a line.
won't let me involve in the light of God. I'm talking fear.
DNA as well.
Fear that my humbleness is gone. I'm talking fear. Fear that love ain't living here no more. I'm talking fear.
Fear that my humbleness is gone. He shouts out humble. Fear that the love ain't living here no more. Then he shouts out his song Love as well. All on Damn. He's literally working through his track list right now. But also, like I talked about, I love all the different angles of fear. Because it started with a fear of mama. It started with a fear of death. And then funny how these fears have now expanded to take on board other fears. It's like a snowball rolling down the hill and just turn it into an avalanche, right? It just starts to compound on itself. Fear of losing all this. Now he has a fear of relationships. Now he has an anxiety, fear of losing friendships, fear of ever being close with someone because of all of his trauma and all of his loss.
Humbleness is gone. I'm talking fear. Fear that love ain't living here no more. I'm talking fear. Fear that is wickedness or weakness. Fear. Whatever it is, both is distinctive. Fear. What happens on earth stays on earth, and I can't take these feelings with me, so hopefully they disperse within 14.
Fear that it's wickedness or weakness. Wickedness or weakness. That's a little nod to Blood. He doesn't say Blood, but that's a shout out to his track Blood. And then what happens on earth stays on earth. We talked about this in my Element breakdown as well in Duckworth 2. But this is another theme that you get from Kendrick, from his track list, connecting it all. Because he was going to name this album, What Happens on Earth Stays on Earth. I'm glad he settled for Damn, but like he said, that's way too many words to have to get out. It's just not short. It's just not snappy. It's not memorable like Damn is.
Whatever it is, both is distinctive. Fear. What happens on earth stays on earth, and I can't take these feelings with me, so hopefully they disperse within 14 tracks, carried out over wax, searching for resolutions until somebody get back. Fear. What happens on earth stays on earth, and I can't take these feelings with me, so hopefully they disperse within 14 tracks, carried out over wax, wondering if I'm living through fear or living through rap. Damn.
Wondering if I'm living through fear, because he's just talked about all these fears. It's almost like a psychotherapy session. Or if I'm living through rap, because I'm using rap to highlight these fears, right? To bring them to the forefront, and I'm using them through music. Or am I just running away from it all and never truly facing it? And yeah, here you go on these 14 tracks of Wax. Like, he talks about pride. He talks about humble. He talks about all these other themes. But I think the biggest one that drives him and drove this album is the fear. And how does he deal with that?
Wondering if I'm living through fear or living through rap.
And that to me is why this track comes later and why he uses this to tie in all the other tracks together.
Wax carried out over wax. Wondering if I'm living through fear or living through rap. Damn.
Goddamn you.
Also, just a little note for like my non-hip-hop fans, because I know I get a bunch of casual fans too. Like, wax is basically what you put on the record, what you put on the vinyl, what you put on wax, right? So 14 tracks carried through wax. He's talking about the wax of laying it on the record, laying it on
So
Damn.
hopefully they disperse with their 14 tracks carried out over wax. Wondering if I'm living through fear or living through rap. Damn.
Goddamn you. Goddamn me.
Man,
Goddamn us.
I love how he says 14 tracks. He says, damn. Like, damn, processing that. Versus literally shouting out the title and having just a meta breaking of the wall of the album. And then you go back to this, because we talked about God and those themes. And now we're saying, God damn you, God damn us. Like when someone says, God damn. But it's interesting because what was the opening verse about? Following God's commandments. Well, Moses in the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who taketh his name in vain. And he's sitting here taking the Lord's name in vain on this. The irony.
Goddamn we. Goddamn us all.
Verse 2 says, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities. So until we come back to these commandments, until you come back to these commandments, we're going to feel this way. We're going to be under this curse.
God damn us all, because we've lost our faith. We're not following his commandments. Like the cursed Israelites. Like the book of Deuteronomy.
He said he's going to
And we're back to this
punish
reading.
us, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are the true children of Israel. We are the Israelites according to the Bible. The children of Israel, he's going to punish us for our iniquity, for our disobedience, because we chose to follow other gods. That as a man chasing his son, so the Lord thy God chasing thee. So just like you're chasing your own son, he's going to chasten you because he loved you. So that's why we get chastised. That's why we're in the position that we're in. Until we come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments and do what the Lord says, these curses is going to be upon us. We're going to be at a lower state in this life that we live here and today in United States of America. I love you, family, and I pray for you. God bless you. Shalom.
Shalom means peace and wishing peace. And for me, Kendrick explored all these fears. But I think the reason that you have the intro and the outro being the way that they are is because the greatest fear that gets ignored when we get caught up in the realm of the individual and all these individual fears that he's going through and experiencing is there's one greater spiritual fear that's being ignored. And that's a fear of God. And that's not having the fear of God. Because all of these other sufferings and iniquities are happening because of that lack of fear and that lack of faith on the flip side of fear, which sits so close with fear and faith. They kind of go together, right? They're juxtapositions and yin and yangs of each other. But then like we talked about, you go from the individual to then the suffering that Kendrick sees within Compton, the violence, the trials and tribulations of the African-American community. And Kendrick taking that and connecting it to religion, but also letting it be an exploration into asking why. I mean, this is just a masterclass of a track in terms of just complexity of themes explored, in terms of writing, in terms of just the way that this is put together. I talked about the samples. Like, the artistry of this is what shines through and makes Damn just an absolute classic of an album. Kendrick Lamar, you were Knox Hill certified. Hope you guys liked today's video. Listen, if you're here at the end, obviously enjoy the content. Look, a lot goes into these breakdowns. If you want to support the channel, you know I got a lot going on behind the scenes. It all helps. It all goes a long way. Subscribe and notifications on. Also, come join the Patreon. Just dropped a Joey Badass full album review. We got more hip hop on there. We got more to check out. If you want to support, it all helps. It all goes a long way. I'll put all links down there. All right, everyone, stay safe, stay positive. Take care of these. Take care of these.